Hey, so weekly update on the crypto markets and Bitcoin. We'll take a look at some of the majors and ones which are actually showing quite a lot of strength, and ones which are showing quite a lot of weakness during this downtrend. If you like the video, please go ahead and give it a like down below. Let's get straight into it. So, since last week, we have largely stayed in the same region, but we are definitely downtrending and holding by a thread. If we look at market structure, everything at the moment is still intact and nothing has changed on that so far. So we've got these lows and still continuing to create higher highs and higher lows so far. And obviously we've got this major trend line retest, which is the way that I'm looking at it, which is so far holding. Okay. And on the weekly RSI, we've still got this zone over here, which we are holding, and we want to stay above this sort of really the 45 to 40 level where we've been to in the past, to hold a support, which has basically been holding us up since May. Now, the way that you need to condition yourself, okay, during these times is, although things look like they are short-term downtrending, and no doubt about it, Bitcoin is in an absolute downtrend. There's no denying that. We're just creating lower lows and lower highs on the daily time frame. But when you zoom out, okay, I don't think that you can look at this and sort of be too concerned at the minute. And you always need to be on the lookout for a potential reversal, especially when we haven't had any real move or pop to the upside, and we've basically been downtrending for like 5 or 6 weeks now. Okay, if we zoom in a little bit further, what we're obviously getting this essentially this downward channel that we've created over here. Okay, and until we break out of this, okay, we are not going to we're not going to basically be moving up, okay, and anytime soon until we break this. Okay, so this channel is really going to give us the indication of where we're going to move to next. Do we break out of this and essentially retest some of the lows down here in the 40 region, in the 43k region, okay, or do we start to actually break up from this at some point soon and create some kind of W pattern and maybe retest that key area of resistance at that 53 to 53.5k level, okay, and then we'll find out and give us a clear indication of whether we are continuing to move up, or whether that's going to be the dead cat bounce. That is the scenario that I would be looking out for, okay? And obviously Bitcoin is going to give us that direction on the markets, and maybe where we're headed to next. We really need to take out, like, really just stop these lower highs and take out, you know, at the very least, I mean, I wouldn't even say this, I mean, we can still come up to here and still just absolutely just tank it down here, but what we want to do is we want to break above 50, sort of hang around there and start to move up and take out these highs one by one to give us that indication of, okay, right, now we're going to be moving higher and start to change some of the sentiment. The only thing that I can say at the minute is, like I said, we are holding this market structure, which is the most important thing, okay, and we are essentially still bouncing off this trend line over here and using it as support. The bounces are getting weaker, okay, so that's what we have to be just be careful of. That we do have some downside potentially to still move into, okay. If we get a weekly close below this, okay, and maybe below here, then I would anticipate some more volatility to the downside, okay. But so long as we hold this, then I would be okay with that. So as long as we hold this area here, okay, however long that takes, okay, then I'd be looking for us to have a reversal, more likely than not, in the short to near term. Now that might be now, it might be in the next week or two, at Q1 next year. I'm not exactly sure, but look out for this first break here of 48 and really back into that 50k region. Okay, that's what we're looking out for. So that's how we're looking at that, and we want to use overall market structure, okay, in direction. So we know that we're still in an uptrend and we're retesting major support of that trend line. We want to use all the moving averages to give us other confluence, okay? So, and you know, basically, can we see anything else? And obviously, we've been holding the weekly 50 moving average. Oops, I think that's the 50. That's the 100. That's the 50, and we have broken below it so far, and we're just wedging between this trend line and this conversion and this moving average. But we have broken below it before, wicked down below it, and closed above it. So let's see where we finish this week. We're only on the Monday. I do think this trend line is more important than this because we whipped past this, you know, quite a few times before. So you know, definitely. Until we basically get back into here and into the 50s, I would maybe sort of say sentiment is maybe starting to shift towards the bulls, you know, regaining some strength. But that's basically what I'll be looking out for. And on the EMAs, on the EMA ribbons, or EMAs, we're basically getting squished between these lower time frame weeklies, and we're basically might again come in for that retest of that 55. So basically look for this region for areas of buys. You should not be selling in this region, okay? At worst, you should be on the sidelines, okay, if you haven't already entered. But if you're just holding, just hold it. Just walk away and just come back. If you can't handle the volatility, then come back at another time when you're happy to you know, to get back in the market and look at your portfolio, because I'm sure everyone's has been grinding down in the last 4 or 5 weeks. But definitely you shouldn't be selling here into weakness after a 40% drop. We haven't taken out this low yet. That's basically how I'm reading the market and where we're at the moment. If we have a look at some of the other coins which I'm looking at that are showing actually potential strength, okay, is we've talked about Ripple a few times on this channel before, and actually this has actually been creating higher lows on the weekly since that big drop on the 5th of December. We came back into this demand zone over here, this big weekly block, and then we've actually been uptrending since then, okay, in this sort of consolidation pattern. Obviously we can come down and retest this area. We have been making a few charges for this block over here, so just keep an eye on Ripple this week and see you know, maybe if we can basically push past this or retest this area properly and maybe see if we can get above it and back into that dollar range. Definitely a possibility. So be looking out for that for Ripple. Some other majors that are looking pretty strong. If you actually look at ETH, it's actually looking really similar pattern to Bitcoin, where we've got this puncturing wick down from this trend line that we broke out of, and we've basically been holding support and just grinding along this trend line since then, and ETH just definitely looking one of the stronger coins to be holding, which has been, like, you know, probably one of, if not the best coin to hold during this whole run, considering the risk that it gives you, because you remember you are getting a lot lower risk when you're holding coins like Ether compared to some of the other coins like ADA and some of the other coins that are further down in the market cap. So Eastern doing very well. I would say much the same as BTC. Okay, you know, we've basically got this trend line. If we can move lower here, maybe we get this retest of this 3400 area, and if we lose that, then we move likely down to the 3000 to 2700 area, because it probably does have a little bit more further to fall should we get that move to the downside. But so long as market structure is holding, then we you know, no reason to panic or anything like that. And the other one, obviously, that I'm looking at the moment is Matic, which has just basically been uptrending, creating higher highs, higher lows. These are coins that you want to be keeping an eye out for, because if you are holding, you know, these coins which are uptrending when BTC is downtrending, that's giving you a clue as to which ones are stronger and where the narrative is. So Matic looking strong. ETH looking strong, XRP looking like it could be building out a bit of a base and an attempt at higher prices. So just look out for that. You know, ones that you don't want to be catching, in my opinion, is stuff like ADA, which has basically been a bit of a falling knife. So, you know, people would tell you to buy the dip here, people would tell you to buy the dip here, and the next minute they'll be telling you to buy the dip at $1. So I'd wait for coins like these to actually show you that they're actually going to give you some kind of reversal, where we get maybe some kind of pattern, or maybe one big wick down to the $1 area, which has been like a magnet for ADA, and then we get some sort of reversal candle like this, because we haven't even had any of those. We had it maybe once here, but again, straight away just rejected. We want to see some sort of continuation, some sort of sign that we're actually moving above, or basically looking to reverse prices. Okay, and there's plenty of other plays which have been pretty weak during this downturn. Now, there are quite a few coins that I'm looking at for the moment, where if you are looking to dabble in a few alts, just in terms of like really overall market structure of like support, resistances and stuff, some of the majors, or some of the ones in the top sort of 30 that look like you're going into a strong area of support that haven't yet bounced, okay, I'll show you a few that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Theta, okay. Obviously, it doesn't look so great at the moment, okay, but the way that I'd be looking at this is pretty simple, right? We've got this major key area of support where we've bounced from 3 times. We're retesting this area again, but this is not a bad one to play, okay, in my opinion, because this is showing you clear kind of market structure, and maybe you'd be looking to take this from the low of this range up to the top of this range, if that's a trade that you want to take, which is about 150%. And it's hard to see it on the charts. Remember, when you get these bloody red days and you're in periods of downtrend. So I understand that it's hard to see that, but you need to zoom out and look at the key areas and the most important levels, okay? So we wouldn't want to close any weekly below this and into that sort of $3, $10, 20 area, because that might signify that we move down to the next area, but so far it's looking good. Uni is actually looking pretty similar to Theta, okay? We can see exactly pretty much identical in terms of the structure of this current pattern, and we essentially retesting this area for a 3rd, 4th time. So let's see basically where we finish this. And if you look at the monthly, we don't ideally want to be closing here. Maybe we can push this up a little bit higher and finish. It's not out of the realms for sure that we can get 10, 15, 20, 30% move even between now and the end of the year. But let's see. Those are some of the coins that I'm looking at. Okay. And then another one I was also looking at was Avax, which has been a strong performer in this downtrend, especially. You know, we did speak about Avax in this 40% downturn, which we might potentially get, and I think we actually got that. Yeah, we got that. We actually marked out, I think, literally the exact levels. If you go back to the video, you'll see exactly that we said look out for 100. Okay, which we got that bounce there, and we said look out for 80, maybe even $75. Okay, and we got that as well. But currently, Avax actually looking definitely one of the stronger ones. We're definitely currently at resistance. At resistance at the moment, where we've got this sort of key level here, where we're coming to try and react up to this trend line. Okay, and maybe we've kind of W'd out our way out of this little mini reaccumulation to send this back up, but maybe we get some kind of inverted head and shoulder. So these are patterns just to be looking out for on some of the majors, okay? And maybe we get this break up here and we move up to new highs, just like Luna and Matic and some of the other coins that have been really strong during this run. So just some ones that I think that you need to be keeping an eye out and keeping a lookout for. But BTC is definitely the one where you want to be, looking out for. And how many times, just another one, how many times have we seen us sort of grind down towards these lows down here, and we sort of reaccumulate downwards and sideways, and then eventually we get this big break up, and then everyone's like, okay, right, I should have seen that, and hindsight's always 20/20. So just be looking for longs. I'm expecting a reversal, more off a reversal in the short to near term. Definitely more likely, in my opinion, than a break below the 40k level, which is the line in the sand for me. If we break 40k, that opens the door for 30k. I wouldn't be surprised if we go down straight down to there. But yeah, so that's basically how I'm looking at it. So long as this holds, fine. Let's see where we finish by the end of the week. So if you like the video, go ahead and give it a like down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.